So what we have here is a failure to a failure to CV joint. Stay tuned.
Well, I'm back. So this is the tire, and you got to remove this tire so you can get to all the hullabaloo behind the tire. So let me get the tire off and I'll show you what's next. Boom! Magic! Look at that shit. Tire's off. That was fast, right? You see that little sucker right there? Yeah, that. Use one of those all the time when you do that. When you got the jack stand. Jack don't do shit except put it up. That keeps it from killing you. And, yeah, for safe measure, you can always put the tire underneath the cross member of the frame. Yeah, you could do that, but if you gotta use jack stand, man. If you're gonna be putting stuff up in the air. Okay, so sorry about the lighting. Let's go check this out. The failure to communicate situation that we have here. And looky, look what I found. CV boot is busted. Sorry, too close and personal. Check that shit out. Oh, no wonder why the ABS light's on and the four-wheel drive light's on and blinking 8 times. Damn Ford. Kind of cool though. So, see that little ring right there? Little gear-looking sumbitch? Yeah, that's what's setting off all your codes and your lights, because you got, see this little sumbitch right there? I don't know why I'm talking like I'm from Texas, but I kind of like it. So you see that little wire right there, man? That little wire goes right into that housing on the knuckle. That's a knuckle. They call it a steering knuckle. Anyways, that bitch goes right in there, and then it's a wire, man. It's a wire for the ABS. It's a wire for the ABS sensor. So there's a sensor in there that goes onto that little little ring right there. Anyways, yeah. So this has got to come out. So way up in there, you got to pop that out of the front transmission. That's got to come out, and then you got to take that. See that monster nut? That nut got to come off the axle shaft. And I don't know what that pink jizz is on there, but I have no idea what that is, man. I wonder if that's like an indicator that something went wrong. But I have no clue, because I ain't got no wax that's that color. So that's something that's an indicator that something went wrong. And now's a good time to check out your brakes, man. Make sure your rotors and your pads and the calipers all working correctly. And I might... Things are pretty rusted. Her SUV has about 170 on it. So it might be time to put some struts in this bitch. Now'd be the time to do it. Just those 2 bolts. So what you got to do to get this out, you got to take those 2 bolts out. Disconnect that tie rod in. That's for your steering. You got to disconnect that little ball joint, little copper washer. I mean, not copper washer. I'm sorry, cotter pin. And then that'll slide right off. All right, let me get this sumbitch disconnected, and I'll be right back. Boom! What the hell is that, man? Well, that could be a gas tank plunger, or maybe I don't know, one of your wife's toys. Nah, I'm just joking. Oh, that's not right. I'm gonna get in trouble for that one. Nope. What we're looking at here is an axle shaft. I said shaft. An axle shaft, man. CV joint, man. CV joint axle shaft. Well, if you look right here, I'm going to point at that. That's the ring. This is called a tone ring for your ABS sensor. I've replaced this particular one that were on the ground here already once. Well, as you can see here, the boot is baroque. No grease. That means the universal joint in here is busted. You can see some rust too. That's normal though. It comes off there. This is a spline. So you got a spline, an outer spline, and that's where that big old nut, these nuts went. Just one nut. And that's your axle nut. That goes into your wheel bearing, which is on the knuckle, which I'll show you in a minute. And then this part
right here goes onto the inside of your transmission or your transfer case. In this case, this is a front-wheel drive, rear-wheel drive car, so there is it's weird how these Escapes are set up. This is a 2006 Ford Escape, so it's like front-wheel drive and rear-wheel drive, but I think it's mostly rear. And then once this ringtone senses this tire slipping, it sends power to the front. So it's splined in the front for your wheel bearing in the knuckle, and then it's splined also in here. You can't really see, it's bad lighting. And there's splines in there. So, get some light on the situation. Well, there's your caliper, all bungeed up out of the way, so it ain't hanging on your brake line. There's your ABS sensor. Disconnect that from the steering knuckle, which is right there. That's where that goes. Well, there's your tie rod end. Disconnect that thing. There. Oh, there you go. Perfect example. Let me see. Let me put it up here. Sorry. That right there is called a castle nut. Focus. Focus. Castle nut. If you guys can see that. You back up a little. Nope. Ain't focusing. Well, anyways, that's the castle nut I was talking about in the previous video. Anyways, so you got to disconnect your caliper. There's the two holes there for the mounting bracket, and then there's your rotor. And then you could take a pry bar way inside there, pry up against that, and pop that inside axle shaft off. I just put one bolt back in the strut tower here, just so it holds everything up until I get the new part. Place is closed, so I can't go get the part. I have it on hold, they have it, so I just got to put it in tomorrow. But anyways, so you take those two bolts out, take this tie rod end off, take the axle nut off, pop that off inside there, and that's how you get a front axle shaft out of a 2006 Ford Escape XLT all-wheel drive piece of shit. POS. No, it's not a bad vehicle. I'm not going to say that. It's not a bad vehicle. It served us well. Well, there's the hardware. That's the little ratchet I used for the sensor. It's a 8mm socket. And I'm not lying to you. This is all I used to get that axle shaft off. I didn't even have to use a pry bar. I just put my teeth on there, spit at it, and I bit it, and it jumped off. So I didn't even have to use a pry bar. I used that long breaker bar. Use that some bitch right there, man. Earthquake. Get you one of them. Harbor Freight. $100. Badass little gun. There's the ball peen hammer I talked about in one of my previous videos. Little cheapo 18mm wrench. And a Klein 1/2" drive 18mm socket. That's it, man. That's all I used to get that out of this. That's it, guys. Alright, till next time. Hope you liked the video. Glad I showed you some instructional, kinda, sorta. I know I didn't show you turning the wrenches, but I did turn all the wrenches. So, alright guys, till next time, I'll catch you on the flip side. That was stupid. I'll catch you guys next time. And don't forget to like, rate, and subscribe. See more videos like this. Later.